Hi guys, of late when I've been chatting to people about Minecraft, of course you talk about diamonds and diamond armor, and I've seen a lot of people who play on the Xbox or play online, and I've seen a lot of comments saying about how they've never found diamonds or they find it really hard to find diamonds. And I mentioned that I do branch mining quite often, and they sort of just don't really know what that is. And I remember there was like a load of really good tutorials that I saw out there, and have lost the links to them. And to be honest, I thought it'd be easier if I just did a little video to explain what branch mining is and how to sort of go about getting the best resources you can from an area. If I just did that myself, so I could just point people in that direction. Obviously, if people see a better video out there, I would love you to link it in here and I can throw it in description and things like that. Anyway, so that's the point of this video, is to take us through how to do branch mining and how to get a lot of resources from an area. So I've gone ahead and I've made myself a little just sort of starting base here. We are on peaceful at the moment, and this is Minecraft 1.7.10. This is just vanilla Minecraft, and I'll take you through how to do this. So let's go into this little base here. Okay, so the essential thing about branch mining is you're trying to expose as much of the surrounding blocks as possible when you build tunnels. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this little tunnel that I've started building here. I'm going to build it down at a diagonal down to bedrock, and I'll come back once I've done that. Okay, so as you can see, we have now reached bedrock here. This, if you've never seen it before, this is bedrock. And if you have a look at this debug screen, which you can get into F3, that Y value is the height that you're at. Now that bedrock goes up to level 5, so let's just level that. Oh, no, there was iron down there, let's get that. Yay, iron. Now you will notice that I've already got an iron pickaxe, and that was just purely from digging down here. I encountered iron. I also encountered some gold and some redstone. So let me just put down these steps here. I made some of these when I had to go back up and smelt that iron. Now you will need an iron pickaxe for this level down here, because obviously iron and diamond you need, and redstone you need to mine with an iron pickaxe, and emerald as well, I believe, if you're in an extreme hills biome. Now another thing you might have noticed is that as I go up here, you'll notice that once I get up to, I think it's level 22, 23, you'll notice that here I can see all the way up to the top of the shaft, see all the way down to the bottom. There's obviously a cave through there, I do apologise. Now as I go further down here, you'll notice that your actual view distance drops significantly there. So it's just something you need to be aware of. That it is kind of harder to see, and also if we do this again now, let's see, I can't remember exactly where is it. There we go. So you got see that BL value. You may not see it straight off. It's at the very second bottom row. You've got LC to 79B Tager Hills BL 8. Now, as you move closer to these torches, you'll notice that that BL value is going up to 12 and back down to 8. If we place a torch right next to us, it's 14. Monsters will not spawn unless that is 7, I believe. And this kind of dictates one of the ways that I personally do my branch mine. So what I'm going to quickly do here is now I'm going to cheat and use my iron pickaxe. And we'll say that now I like to do the main shafts of me mine too wide, just because it's easier to figure out where you are. Okay, so the principle behind doing a branch mine is that for every block you dig, you want to be maximizing the amount of blocks that you expose around it. Now, this is not, there is no definitive way to do it. There is obviously most efficient ways, but it's all down to what you want to do. Now, so let's take an example of, if I break this block here. Now, I have just exposed that block back there. We could already see all of these. But if I now dig into that block, well, I've exposed that one, that one, that one, and that one, and the one behind it. And if I break the next block, I've exposed that one, that one, that one, that one. Now, if we do that, you can dig up to 5 away, I believe. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. Now, if we could go down a one wide, 1 by 1 gap, that'd be brilliant. But then, if we start breaking these ones here, as you can see, well, we're now also exposing 1, 2, 3 with every break. Break another block, 1, 2, 3. Break another block, 1, 2, 3. Gets the final block, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I do the shafts 3 high. So basically, for every one of these shafts, for every block you're breaking, you're exposing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So that is 8 blocks that you're exposing for breaking 3. And the idea is you want to cover, ideally you'd be covering a chunk at a time, because the way that things spawn is they spawn in chunks between a certain level. So in a 16 by 16 chunk, you will get, I think it's between 1 and 8 diamonds spawning between the levels of 1 and 20. And that's the same with most things. Now, you could be incredibly efficient. If you can see here, on this X position, you can see that you've got a C, and it says 10, and in the brackets you've got your position within the chunk, and then the 0, you've also got your position within the chunk, so a 1, 1, and then you go through to 15, 15. Now, if you don't really want to play around with numbers, you don't need to do that. The most important thing you need to remember is that you want to be covering the same sort of area and exposing as many resources as you can at a time. So let's just extend this down a little bit more. Now, if you really want to be completely efficient as well, is you would just use stone pickaxes, which I do have, but at the moment, just to show this. Now, I'm just going to light this up. So, when I build my other main shaft down here, well, I'm already exposing all of these blocks here. So what I want to be doing on my next shaft is I don't want to be digging it here, because if I dig it down here, I'm only going to be exposing blocks on this side. Whereas if I actually dig a shaft down here, I am exposing new blocks every time I do this. So as you can see, all the way down this, oh, there we go, there goes my pickaxe. As you can see, I have now just exposed all fresh blocks that I couldn't see before. And that is really the essence of branch mining, is you do, one main line with lots of little branches off it, do an area, and that will ensure that you're basically seeing as much as you possibly can. Now, the way I personally do my branch mines is I do them 20 by 20. So 20 in that direction, 20 in that direction, in a square, and I will have these shafts going along every 2 blocks. The reason for that is it's very easy to make sure that you are actually doing that 20 by 20. Now, I don't know if you remember at the start here, is I just dug forwards 5. As far as I could, I walked up to the wall, dug forwards 5. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you've got, if we dig forwards another 5, because I'm doing the shafts 3 high, I can do, with torches, a little labelling thing to show, okay, so if I do the next torch here, second block down, and then if I go forwards another 5, so we're at this point here, we're at 10 blocks in. And we'll just ignore these resources for a minute. So let's do, we're now 15 blocks in here. And there is lava back there, as I'm sure, I don't know if you can hear that. So put that, so that one there, and then when I get to the final end, hey, diamond, woo! See, it works. Awesome. Right, so I'm going to need me iron pickaxe there. Just put a block there to make sure I don't go too far forwards. Right. Now, I do need to be careful, there is lava here. So let's just dig forwards here. Okay, so now at this level is you really can't see, as you notice, beyond one block. Even though I stand here, I can just about see that torch there, which is why I do this technique. It's okay, so you put the first block there. Once you get to 5, okay, that marks 5, 10, 15, and then when I get to 20, just plonk enough on the top. And I can just go back and put all of these at the top here so they don't get in the way. And now I know that this shaft is 20 long. Let's get these. What's the bit I'm going to dig through here? It's going to be a lava flow. Now, ideally you would dig around it and make sure you're not going to get hit by lava when you do that, but I had to live dangerously. And by dangerously, I mean, you know, sitting safely at home playing Minecraft. Yeah, kind of fail statement there. Okay, so what I'm going to now do is, so as you can see, I've now got a shaft here that's 20 long. Now I can repeat this pattern for these along here as well. So I know that this is 5. If I now go another 5 along in this direction, and just by the fact that you can only dig 5 blocks in any direction, as long as you just stay here and dig as far as you go. Can't dig anymore. Okay, I know that's another 5 blocks. Digging it with cobblestone isn't going to be very effective, is it? So following the same pattern as we did before. Okay, look back. Okay, I can see that one. So put it down. So I know I'm at 15 here. And we'll go forwards another 5. Hey, I found diamond again. Woo! So hopefully this is illustrating that it's quite effective at the fact that you're showing as many blocks as possible. Let's go back and put this here. Now I will admit I have been incredibly lucky here with my finds of diamond. I don't hear any lava. Right, so let's get rid of that. So, just one. Let's dig around a bit. Now diamond can spawn diagonally, a little bit like that. I don't think there'll be any more, but let's have a look around anyway. Okay, so let's see, how many have we found? We found, oh, wrong button. 5 diamonds so far, not bad. Sorry for coughing now, Mike. Let's go there. So now I know that this shaft here is 20 because I did my little pattern there. And then obviously I'm going to have another main mine shaft on the back of here. So I'm just going to dig this out here. So it's 2 in. So my main mine shaft would be coming along here. I can just dig that other one. I don't need to mark that other one because I know this is 20 long. And then I can do the same thing going in this direction. If I just dig along here a little bit, I already know that I've got a shaft, a main shaft going along that way that's 20 long. I don't even need to do the labelling thing now, because if I just dig along to the next shaft going backwards, and we'll just dig here, put a block there, put a torch there, I'm just going to dig through to where the next one would come through. And now I can actually zigzag back and forth. Now there is lava here and I've already found diamonds in this area here, so it's unlikely I'm going to find more on this side of the shaft that I've dug. So once I'm just done an example of this zigzagging back and forth that you can do, so let's do that. So if I were to now, let's use a So now I know that's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can just literally, you know, I don't really even need to use that labelling method to make sure I know how long this is. I'm keeping things all equal and such because I've already got, you know, I'm just going parallel to what I'm doing there. Another 2 of these and I should end up back at my main mineshaft. I think I just heard a bat die. Oh, poor bat. Although I will admit they do make me kind of mentally flail when one just comes out of the dark. I think you can hear someone in my household coughing. I do apologise. Right, so as you can see there, and that's the way you can get yourself a nice geometric arrangement. So obviously I'd go, once I get to the end here, you know, my last mine shaft would be here and my main one would be going across there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to quickly just do the other side of this so you can see that, and especially as I can hear lava over there. Now I will point out that this 2 wide and 3 high is not necessarily the most efficient way to do it. The most efficient way to do it, if you want to use the chunks and everything, would be dig down, get to the point where you're on 0, 0 for chunks. So if I just, so let's see, that's 0 there, that's 0 there. Oops. So if I were to start here and then go in this direction, as you can see on the Z and the X there, the C that indicates a chunk, I'm on 0, 0. If I then did that all the way through there to that was 15 and then etc, etc, that would be guaranteed that I'm in the chunks. But then again, and if I did them too high, I would literally, with the bottom ones always be exposed in 3 and the top one always be exposed in 3. So, you know, if I sort of demonstrate that here. Okay, so just by digging, oh my good god, jammy fucker, or what? Oh shit, I swore, sorry. Oh shit, I swore. Ah. I didn't mean to swear. So as you can see with each of these blocks here is I've exposed 3. That would be a 2 by 2. Personally, I like to do 3 high so I can do my little labelling technique here and just indicate where I am. And I also like to have these main shafts that sort of are the border to those areas that I'm doing that in. I like to have these 2 wide just so I know where I'm going. And there is also another thing that I'm going to explain here. Let's just do this. Once again, this is just my technique and method, and it may not necessarily be useful to you. But you may have noticed that I always label on the left hand side as I'm going away from the mineshaft entrance, so the entrance to the mineshaft. And you'll notice that when I went down this side I was labelling on the left because I was going away from the start, and when I came back down this side I labelled on the right, well I said place the torches on the right hand side. And the reason for this is that once you get sort of like maybe 80 in that direction and 80 in that direction, is it might actually be hard to figure out where you're going. Whereas if you always know that these are on the left, is if you're going away from the entrance, they'll be on your left. If you want to get back to the start, you can always go on the right. Wherever you are in the mine, say I was miles and miles away, I would just know that as long as I always followed these torches to the right, and I know that I always labelled on the left when I was going away from the entrance, I could just follow them and I would come back to the entrance. Because, for example, here I'm going away that it's on the left. As I go away on the left here, the torch is here. So as I come back here, I'll notice, okay, there's a torch there, which means that I must be on the central shaft, which is leading back to the entrance. So what I'm going to quickly do now is I'm going to stop waffling at you, and I will just show you me digging an entire area. Okay, so as you can see, I have just finished this little section that I'm doing here. We've done a 20 long by 20 wide chunk of blocks here, and we've got these single wide mine shafts going down either side, and that really is the essence of how this would go. I just wanted to, this kind of brings into focus how these torches, this sort of system that I said here works, is that, say for example, I could be 100 blocks off in this direction here, and I'd come to a junction and be like, okay, so that's going off in that direction, that's away from the mineshaft entrance, and that's away from the mineshaft entrance. So, look at that. Okay, so this is coming back to the entrance, these are on the right, so I'm going back to the entrance, and I could just follow this all the way back to the start. The other thing that I would mention as well is that if you were to build a mine shaft, say above it, as you can see I've started outlining it because there was lava over there, these shafts here that I would do is, rather than doing this direction going down here, is I would do them going in this direction here, which would mean that as I expose the blocks, anything that might be these blocks here that I'm breaking, that might be hidden in those blocks there, I would be more likely to see, because I would be sort of crossing over the lines that I've done here. Anyway, I hope it's been useful. I hope it's explained to you how the branch mining works and the idea behind it. Just to recap, the idea is that you section off areas with these one wide mine shafts, and the idea is that with every block you break, you're exposing new blocks, or as many new blocks as possible. The most efficient way would do it 2 blocks high. This is the way that I personally like, and people might find useful to be able to navigate themselves well, which is to, if we do here, is to dig 5 in a direction, which is as far as this goes, and just use the limit of what you can dig to give yourself 5 long chunks, or 5 long sections, which you can mark out. With the 3 high, you can then mark that as 5, 10, 15, 20 by the position of the torch. And like I said, yeah, so the idea is to expose as many new blocks as possible as you do these little mine shafts off. Anyway, I hope it's been useful, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope it's successful for you. Please feel free to comment if you think I've missed anything out, or just enjoyed the video. Please let me know. Please do like the video if you've enjoyed it, and feel free to subscribe if you want. Have a great time in Minecraft.